Today's story is both shocking and heartbreaking for thousands of Australian seniors. Many pensioners who depend on their Centrelink payments to survive have just discovered that their latest deposits are lower than expected, not because of new rules, not because of any change they made, but because of what appears to be a Centrelink mistake. This sudden reduction has left older Australians worried, angry, and confused, wondering how something like this could even happen in a system that millions rely on for basic living support. Before we go further, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel. Here, we share the most important updates for seniors across Australia, including pension news, cost of living relief, and urgent Centrelink changes that can affect your payments. Subscribing ensures you never miss a critical update that could help protect your income and peace of mind. Now, let's talk directly about what's going on, because this situation isn't just about numbers. It's about trust, dignity, and the right of every older Australian to receive what they've earned. For many seniors, these payments are their only source of income. When that money suddenly drops, even by a few dollars, it's not just inconvenient. It's life-changing. It means a skipped meal, a missed bill, or another night worrying about whether the next payment will be correct. Reports have begun coming in from across the country, from Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, and even smaller towns in South Australia, that some age pension recipients and disability support pensioners noticed their latest Centrelink payments were lower than usual. Many initially thought it was a normal adjustment, but as more people compared their statements, it became clear that something had gone wrong. Imagine logging into your account or checking your bank balance and realizing that the money you were counting on, the payment that keeps your lights on, buys your groceries, and pays your rent, is suddenly short. That's what thousands of Australians experienced this week, and now Centrelink is being forced to respond. According to early updates from several community groups and advocacy organisations, this situation appears to have stemmed from an internal processing error that occurred during a recent system update. Centrelink has been working to modernise and automate many of its systems to handle large volumes of payments more efficiently. However, during this update, a calculation glitch seems to have incorrectly adjusted payment amounts for certain pensioners, especially those who recently updated their income details, changed banking information, or moved to a new payment cycle. The mistake doesn't appear to affect all recipients, but rather a specific group of seniors who receive combined payments, such as the age pension along with rent assistance or the pension supplement. For these individuals, the combined total they usually receive every fortnight was suddenly lower, in some cases by as much as $50 to $150. While that might sound like a small number to some, for someone living on a fixed income, that reduction can mean the difference between comfort and hardship. Centrelink's automated systems are designed to cross-check data like income, assets, and eligibility on a regular basis. It's part of their effort to make sure people are receiving the correct amount. But what seems to have happened this time is that an automated adjustment was triggered in error, reducing payments even for those whose details were fully up to date. As a result, thousands of pensioners woke up to find less money in their accounts with no warning, no explanation, and no immediate way to fix it. Several seniors have shared their frustration through community forums and pension support pages. One woman from Perth said she called Centrelink 5 times and waited over an hour each time, only to be told that her case would be reviewed within 14 business days. Another man in Melbourne said he was forced to borrow money from his neighbour just to buy medication while waiting for his correct payment to arrive. These stories are heartbreaking, and they highlight how vulnerable many older Australians feel when something goes wrong in the system. As complaints started to pile up, Centrelink and Services Australia issued a short statement acknowledging that a small number of pension recipients may have experienced temporary underpayments due to a system error currently being investigated. They assured the public that the issue was not intentional and that corrective payments would be processed as soon as possible. But for many seniors, as soon as possible isn't good enough. Bills don't wait. Rent doesn't pause. Groceries and medication still need to be bought today, not after a review or apology. That's why pension advocacy groups like the National Seniors Australia and the Council on the Aging have called on the government to act immediately. They are demanding that all affected pensioners receive not just their missing money, but also a formal apology and compensation for the stress caused. Centrelink has also advised people to check their online accounts through MyGov to confirm the payment amount listed and compare it with what was deposited. If there's a difference, they are urged to contact Centrelink directly. However, many seniors have pointed out that getting through on the phone is nearly impossible, with call wait times exceeding 2 hours in some regions. Others who tried to visit local service centres found them overcrowded, with long lines and limited staff to handle the growing number of complaints. For seniors who rely entirely on their Centrelink income, even a small drop can cause serious problems. Many live on fixed budgets, carefully planning every dollar of their fortnightly payment. When the payment comes up short, there's no buffer. The rent, utilities, food, and medical expenses still have to be paid, and when that money isn't there, the stress can be overwhelming. A retired teacher from Adelaide said she had to cancel her grocery order after realizing her payment was lower. A veteran in Brisbane said he skipped his weekly physiotherapy session because he couldn't afford the co-payment. And countless others are quietly dealing with the anxiety of not knowing if their next payment will also be wrong. What makes this situation even more painful is that it comes at a time when cost of living pressures are already unbearable for many older Australians. Electricity prices have gone up. Rent has increased. Groceries cost more than ever. And while the government has promised support, such as energy rebates and pension indexation adjustments, those changes often take months to come through. For seniors living week to week, that's far too long. The unexpected reduction in payments has quickly caught the attention of politicians and the media. Several members of Parliament have publicly demanded answers from Services Australia and the Minister for Social Services. They argue that this mistake undermines confidence in the entire welfare system and adds unnecessary stress to the most vulnerable citizens. Opposition leaders have also criticised the government for failing to prevent such errors, saying that the systems used to manage pension payments should be double-checked and manually verified before any updates are applied. They've called for a full audit of the payment system, insisting that no pensioner should ever be forced to suffer because of a computer glitch. Meanwhile, the minister responsible has said that no one will be left out of pocket and that all underpaid pensioners will be compensated in full once the issue is resolved. She added that the government is deeply sorry for the inconvenience and that teams are working around the clock to identify every affected case. One proposal being discussed involves setting up a new senior assurance layer within the payment system, a safety net that requires human verification for any reduction larger than $5. This would stop automatic cuts from being applied without review. Another idea is to add an alert system that informs recipients by SMS or email before any change is processed, giving them time to respond if something looks wrong. Services Australia is also considering building a new payment audit tool that checks for irregularities before deposits are sent. This could flag errors early, preventing thousands from being affected. Financial counsellors say seniors should be encouraged to regularly download and store their payment summaries, not just to track income, but to catch small changes early. This empowers pensioners to report issues before they escalate. For the government, the message is clear: automation cannot replace accountability. Technology must serve people, not the other way around. If you're watching this video and you've been affected, please take a deep breath and remember, this is not your fault. You did nothing wrong. The system made a mistake, and it will be corrected. Your full pension is still yours by right, and every cent will be restored. While waiting for your correction, try to manage your budget carefully and reach out for help if needed. Local councils, charities, and community centres often have emergency support programs for seniors. Even small relief, like food vouchers or utility assistance, can ease the burden until your payment is fixed. If you can, keep checking your MyGov messages for updates from Centrelink. The correction might happen sooner than expected. And once your payment is restored, make a note of the date and amount, so you'll have a clear record in case any future issue arises. It's understandable to feel angry or upset. Many older Australians feel ignored when dealing with bureaucracies. But remember that your voice matters. Every call, every complaint, and every media story pushes the government to take responsibility. And because people like you spoke up, this problem is being fixed faster than anyone expected. This event has shaken public trust, but it may also lead to a stronger, fairer system. Mistakes like this remind policymakers that pensioners are not just numbers in a database. They are mothers, fathers, grandparents, veterans, and carers who built this country. They deserve respect, transparency, and care. If the current investigation leads to better systems, stricter testing, and more human oversight, then something good can come from this painful episode. It can ensure that future retirees never face the same shock or fear. The government has promised to publish a full report once the review is complete, detailing what went wrong and how it will be prevented. That's an important step forward, but accountability doesn't end there. Continued monitoring and independent audits should become part of how Centrelink operates from now on. So, to everyone watching, if your pension payment was unexpectedly reduced, please know this. The mistake has been identified, the fix is underway, and your money will be restored. The system failed you, but you did not fail. Australia's seniors deserve peace of mind, not panic. You've worked hard your whole life, contributed to society, and now you deserve reliability from the very services meant to protect you. In the coming weeks, we'll continue to share updates about the correction process, any new payment dates, and the outcomes of the government investigation. If you want to stay informed and make sure you never miss an important change, please subscribe to this channel right now. It helps us reach more seniors who need clear and honest information. Thank you for watching and for being part of this caring community. Remember, you're not alone. Help is available, your payments will be fixed, and your voice is being heard. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and take care of yourself and your loved ones. Until the next update, may peace and security return to every Australian home affected by this unexpected mistake.